Neymar is not feeling well after Neymar's poor performance in the 1-0 defeat against Nice. The coach of the Belgian national team is worried about the mental state of this Brazilian player. According to the Football Report, Thierry Henry has admitted that he is worried about Neymar's mental health, because the Paris Saint-Germain star continues to perform lower than expected in the 2021-2022 season. Neymar is spending his weakest season in a Paris Saint-Germain shirt, scoring just 4 goals and 4 assists in 18 games in all competitions. Henry, who played for Arsenal and Barcelona at the height of his career, thinks the 30-year-old striker has asked for help in his latest media interviews. There is a time when you analyze a behavior and he cannot solve the problem. Well, that's a fact and you have to identify it. Yes, he did not do well, but there are reasons. Neymar, Henry told L'Équipe. In recent interviews he has often talked about his physical condition and stress, so the first question on my mind is he okay? He no longer beats people quickly. He talks, but do you hear his voice? Neymar wants help and has concerns like any other human being. In his last 2 interviews, Neymar said goodbye to the national team after the 2022 World Cup and the possibility of his presence in MLS, due to more rest and less pressure. Rashford is skeptical about his future at Manchester United. Marcus Rashford feels that his future at Manchester United needs further consideration. According to Football Reports, the situation of Manchester United is currently chaotic, and now The Guardian reports that Marcus Rashford is considering his future at the club. The 24-year-old Rashford has been in the starting lineup for just 2 of the club's last 11 Premier League games and came on as a substitute in a disappointing 4-1 defeat to Manchester City yesterday. In fact, reports suggest that he was disappointed by his lack of minutes in the Manchester United squad. The national team striker also missed the first 2 months of the season due to shoulder surgery. Interim United manager Ralf Rangnick has given 19-year-old Anthony Alaga a significant chance to play the season, and the 85 million purchase of the Red Devils, Gideon Sancho, has recently fared better. European sports newspaper headlines: Milan and Barça win, citizens win the Manchester Derby. The most important headlines of sports newspapers today, Monday, March 6, 1400, in Europe. The new acquisition of the Catalans is not in a good situation in their current team. The management of the Blue and Pomegranate club of the port city of Barcelona recently announced the transfer of Pablo Turri, the young racing midfielder, at a price of €5 million, in addition to variables, and this led to the similar purchase situation of another club. The former Barcelona star, Inter's serious option for a free transfer in the summer. Football news: with Suarez's contract expiring at the end of the season, the Uruguayan striker's next destination will be a big question. According to a Football Report, Luis Suarez will leave Atletico Madrid at the end of his contract in June, and Inter have asked the manager of his plans for a possible free transfer in the summer. Suarez joined Atletico Madrid from Barcelona in 2020 after a failed transfer to Juventus. The 35-year-old has scored 32 goals in 73 games for the La Liga champions. However, El Pistolero has decided to leave the club after his contract expires on June 30. According to Marca, several clubs, including Inter, have already contacted the player's entourage. The Nerazzurri will need at least 1 new central striker in the 2022-2023 season, with both he and Gianluca Scamacca on Pepe Murata's agenda. Allegri's reaction to the slight and economic victory against Spetsia: for now, only the victory is worth it. Italian coach Bianconeri reacted to a close victory over his team in last night's game against Spetsia. According to a Football Report and quoted by the Italian media, Juventus' small but very valuable victory against Spetsia, which cannot be considered as one of the great and famous teams, in this moment of Serie A competitions for Max Allegri and his students, is the order of 3 golden points. Could have made the old lady more hopeful to continue on her way. Juventus coach Massimiliano Allegri, in response to his team's 1-0 victory in last night's match, made the following key points. Today, with hardship and pressure, we were able to achieve a one-on-one advantage. However, we also have 5 years of championship with this team. You know, in football, everything passes very quickly and is easily forgotten. But now the important thing is that we did not lose even 1/100th of a second of our effort and focus to lose this superiority. Qatari manager Piazji jailed for paying bribe. PSG director Nasser Al Khalifa and former FIFA Secretary General Jerome Valcke were charged in a Swiss court on Monday with receiving a bribe to donate television rights to the Intersport TV network to answer questions from a judge. According to a football report, Al Khalifa is accused of paying a bribe to his country's network, beIN Sport, in cooperation with WOC, in order to obtain the right to broadcast the World Cup under FIFA. Al Khalifa and WOC were acquitted in the first two trials and are now awaiting an appeals court ruling. In fact, the parties must submit their complaints and defenses to the court by Thursday. In fact, Al Khalifa and WOC may be sentenced to a total of 5 years in prison for paying and receiving bribes. The prosecution had demanded 28 months in prison for Al Khalifa and 3 years in prison for WOC. The thing that made Pioli angry after the win against Napoli, the inequality in the number of games. The Rossoneri's Italian coach reacted to the victory in the 6-point game against Napoli. According to Italian media reports, the Rossoneri managed to return Milan to the top of the table with 60 points in the Scudetto, thanks to a valuable single goal by Olivier Giroud in Naples, while Inter has 58 points with 1 game less. Napoli also remained at 57 points with the same number of games as losing to Milan. About a valuable victory against Napoli. These 3 points are very valuable and we managed to defeat a strong team that created a lot of problems for us during the game, and despite the many difficulties that the kids experienced, we deserved this victory. Our channel on the left is very offensive, so if we reduce the defensive conditions in that area a little bit, the potential risk we have in that area is worth it. We tried to be involved. The tumor and the calculus did a great job of controlling the Usman. About the victory of a no Napoli in the round due to the rejection of the late goal and who is healthy. It was a face-to-face battle and we are happy with the result, but nothing has changed since before and we are still just 1 point ahead of last season at such a time of season, and so there is still a lot of work to be done. There is. What about gaining more points against the top teams in the table and losing points against the bottom teams? This is a situation that definitely needs to be improved, especially since the season, with the exception of 2 games against Atalanta and Lazio, there are a few games left. Put Spetsia in the process of our results for 2022. I do not know, because it should not have ended with that result, referring to the rejection of Messi's healthy goal, but it is true that we could not dominate the games as we wanted. There are problems for every team in Serie A and we are not a perfect team. We have come to prove that we have learned from our mistakes. What about Giroud scoring in big games such as a double against Inter and a single 3-point goal against Napoli? Our intention was to add a player to the team who already has a championship record, a player who knows what it means to strive to achieve important goals and is one of those people who are very professional. Last summer, there was only 1 video call. It was enough for us all to know which player we are on. After the results of week 28, who claims the Scudetto? Inter are still the main contenders for the Scudetto, because they are the defending champions and they have a backward game. They are a very strong team that knows the meaning of victory. Then we can make a decision sooner. The presence of an unknown Real Madrid in the list of the Argentine national team. Argentina's initial 44-man roster for the 2 World Cup qualifiers against Venezuela and Ecuador was full of surprises. According to a football report, the promotion of the Argentine national team to the World Cup has been confirmed, and it seems that Scaloni intends to try and make mistakes from some unknown players. Venezuela has been eliminated from the World Cup, while the game against Argentina could be a game of life and death for Ecuador. Apart from famous figures such as Messi, Dybala, and Di Maria, Scaloni has used some unknown and anonymous figures in the list. One of the anonymous figures is Nico Paz, a 17-year-old player who attends Riddle's Academy, but perhaps even the majority of Real fans have not heard his name. The subject of Murata's special joy was revealed after scoring in last night's game. His wife, Spanish national team star and goal scorer Bianconeri, spoke to media reporters after scoring in his team's game against Spetsia last night. According to a football report and quoted by the Italian media, Alvaro Morata, the Spanish striker of Juventus, who scored the winning goal and 3 points against Spetsia, in a short speech after the game, raised issues with the media, which are as follows. About scoring in last night's game against Spetsia? No, I told you we knew it was a tough game and we were likely to be under pressure for the rest of the season. We have to keep getting better and we have to learn to close the game well. However, this 3 points are 3 golden points and they are as valuable to us as gold. We have to win this way, and in these moments of the season we have to win and there is no choice but to win. We have to keep practicing and winning. About the joy of flowers? The first was for my wife, who was the day before her birthday. She deserves this goal and happiness. We had dinner with Perrin and I told her that after tonight's first goal, I would go to her and hug her. And so it was, but my wife was happy. About Dybala and Allegri? I am in my position and I think about training and being in the squad. I do not have to think and talk about others. I do not need to be on anyone's side. We have to be ready and focused against any opponent with focus and mentality.